Hello everyone and welcome to 𝗛𝗚𝗛𝗏 Park for highlights of this Vanarama National League South clash between Bath City and Dulwich Hamlet. The Romans know that a win tonight could move them within a point to the top 7. It's just 2 defeats and 11 for City, who have only conceded 1 goal from open play in their last 8 matches. Saturday's 3-2 win at Worthing saw 𝗛𝗜𝗚𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏 side move up to 10th and lift the hopes of reaching the playoffs. For Dulwich, their concentration is at the other end. 𝗛𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was recently installed as their 3rd manager of the season, and he's overseen 2 wins. But his only away match was a crushing 5-1 loss at Chelmsford 8 days ago. 6 of the 8 sides in close proximity to Dulwich are playing each other tonight, and the South West Londoners have a tricky schedule. Including tonight, they have 4 matches in a row against the top 10, 3 away from home. This game was abandoned in November following the shocking accident involving Alex Fletcher. For his 250th game in charge, 𝗛𝗜𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has been forced into one change, with Kieran Parcell out with a foot injury. Dan Greenside comes in, and Jack Batten takes on the captain's armband. The Romans only have 4 on the bench. Commentary is from Andrew Kerslake and Alex Lane-Kioska.
And we're about to get underway now. There's a large group of fans over in the Poplar stand to keep out the rain, but it's nice to see a decent attendance overall as we're about to get underway now. And straight away, Dulwich want to send it all the way to the left-hand side, but Max Harris comes and collects. Brings it inside, brings it infield to Batten, who finds a bit of space in front of him, and with the left foot, sends a lovely ball out wide to Tom Smith on the right, who threads it through to Chris Line, sends in a cross, and deflects off the Dulwich player, and it will go out for a corner. Good start for City. And they decide to take a shot. It's now with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. We'll try and whip it with the left foot, near towards the back post, trying to find Jack Batten, but the referee says foul. Up to Cook, right-hand side. There's Cheadle all over him, does well to skip past, and it will be a free kick.
Yep, that's a free kick. A whole mass of players on the edge of the 18-yard box.
That's coming now from Line, sent towards the penalty spot, cleared away by Mills. They're only going for a corner for City. 2-1 win at Dulwich, as the corner is sent in now once again. Mills is there first. It's very full over on the Poplar stand, right near Chris Lines. Sends another one now towards the penalty spot, trying to get to Batten. Once again, Mills is there again, almost scored a known goal on that occasion. The ball looped onto the roof of the net. City have the potential of going just 1 point behind the playoff spots today with a win. Sonny Cox now will hopefully try and find a way to get City ahead. It's very lucky there as Krasniqi actually slipped over and was able to push forward a bit more. Hayfield, now Smith, edge of box, right-hand side. Sends it over to Hayfield, who'll try and loft a cross in. And it is going to be a corner. There was a massive appeals for handball there.
That looked like handball to me. I know it's a long way away from us and it might be deceptive, but I was sure the player put out his hand to touch that.
Plenty of bodies in the box now. We'll go towards a penalty spot. And it will try and fall to Dyer, I think that time he was trying to get to. Chris Line sends it in with the weaker left foot. It almost falls all the way through to Greenside, who goes for an acrobatic effort. Now to Batten, tries to just almost tries to just side foot it up past the keeper, Morton. Back to Greenside, back to Morton. Nice bit of play between the two, and now it's with Smith, who's squared off to him. Now out wide to Hayfield, who's able to keep it in. He just about does, almost falling over in the process. Looking for an option now. He has Smith with him. Uses Smith. Just to the right of the box. Back to Hayfield. Nice patient play from City, waiting for an opening. Now at Greenside, there's a lot of space ahead of him. I'm sure he might unleash a shot there. He tries to do so, but it's not the best effort. Charged down by the Dulwich defence. Misplaced his kick. He's able to bring it forward now with Porter. He's driving towards the edge of box, tries to unleash a shot, deflects off a City player, but it will fall straight into the hands of Max Harris. That time Morton just puts his head in between Mills as well. And now it's with Morton, left-hand side, looking for an outlet inside the box. No one running in yet. Lays it off for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. He can send a low cross in towards Cody Cook. He gets his head onto it, but he was a bit under the ball. The cross is just slightly too high by the penalty spot where he was standing. Now Morton to Hayfield. Good passing here from City. Just once again, just trying to keep within possession. And that's a beautiful ball from Dan Greenside to switch it up all the way through towards Cody Cook, who could take a shot here. Oh, and with the weak foot, it goes just wide. It looked like initially the ball was meant to go out wide towards Tom Smith. Cody Cook brings it down, fooling the Dulwich defenders. He's able to just take another touch, set himself, but unfortunately with the weaker left foot, he just spoons it wide of the post. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, having to hold tight there. Greenside gets onto the end of that cross, heads it away. Now with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Mings all over him. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 just clears it away as far as Morton. And able to, Max Harris had to be very quick to make sure he didn't lose possession. Ball that time, and Ming dispossesses Dyer. And that's a strong challenge from Jack Batten, and it's going to be a penalty and a yellow card for Jack Batten. 35 minutes gone. It is a penalty for Dulwich Hamlet. He did go in quite hard in that challenge.
He went in heavily. He won the ball. I guess the referee would say the play was still dangerous, but slid across. And well,
I would say it was because there was I would say it's because it was 2-footed or perhaps even stud showing. But usually a referee would send a player off for that one. So I'm not quite sure how the referees come to that decision. For me, it's either a red card or nothing at all. Because he definitely won the ball. And here we go, Ming about to take the penalty. Max Harris on his line. Referee just making sure. Referee taking a long time to get on with this penalty. But you could tell it was definitely a controversial incident by the way the fans and the management team reacted. And here comes Ming now to take it, and it's in the back of the net, and it is 1-0 to Dulwich Hamlet on the 38th minute mark. City 0, Dulwich Hamlet 1, and Sanchez Ming with the penalty down in the bottom left corner. Max Harris went the wrong way, and now City have a lot of work to do to get back into this one.
Yeah, it was taken low along the ground to Harris's right. Harris dived to his left, and didn't have a huge amount of power on it. Had he gone the other way, he may have saved it, but Ming, I think, fairly controlled in where he was, more placement than power.
It was a very well-placed penalty, definitely, and he knew exactly where he wanted to put it. And there's a large amount of boos from the crowd. I'm very unhappy with that decision. Understandably so, I think. Almost Joe Felix getting onto the end of the slide challenge there. Hayfield just looking for an option. Has Smith ahead of him, will run onto it. That's it looked like it might have been an okay tackle by Krasniqi, but I think it was the fact that he sort of kept holding Tom Smith back more than anything. But now the card will be coming out, and he's still moaning towards the referee as well. He's not happy about something. And Chris Lyne's about to take it, just whips it in towards Sonny Coulter. Looked like it almost falls to Batten, but will go straight through to Granger, who does well to read the ball in the air. Cody Cook trying to win that header, but it's pushed forward by Dulwich. Freer just under that ball at time, and it will be a free kick now for Dulwich Hamlet. And this time it was Greenslade. His foot was slightly high, but he did try to pull out. And it will be a yellow card as well for Dan Greenslade, as Mills is having a bit of words with him.
I hate players rushing over, instantly surrounding the referee. Absolutely no need for that whatsoever.
And it will be a yellow card for Dan Greenslade. It feels like referees lost control of this game slightly, to say the least. And the kick has just been sent down forward, and Batten has to clear. And there goes the half-time whistle. And it does end at Bath City 0, Dulwich Hamlet 1 after the first 45. After a Sanchez Ming penalty in the 38th minute. And Jack Batten and Dan Greenslade have both found themselves in the referee's book. And we're about to get underway for the second half. Chris Lynes kicks us off from the centre. And he goes over to Dan Greenslade, who you imagine will just send it long. And does so up to near where Cody Cook would be. And it will fall to Cody Cook, who could just lob the keeper. And it goes over and wide, but a very good opportunity. Granger well off his line in that situation. Cody Cook will be looking for 3-3. As Granger sends it down. Greenslade does miss that header, and Mills takes out Batten. And I'm sure the City players will argue a lot against the referee in this one. Jack Batten has stayed down on the turf there. May have called for physio to come over. Jack Batten actually the skipper today.
Danny Mills about to get a booking.
They might see a few bookings in the second half. It continues to be quite physical.
Interestingly, none of the Dulwich players protesting that, bearing in mind how vigorously they protested everything in the first period.
As far as lines, Morton does really well. Morton's been brilliant in this game so far, holding down that midfield really well. Dye out to Hayfield, looking for an option. Hasn't quite got the overlap yet. Now gives it to Tom Smith, but Smith was actually looking towards Marco. He's able to lay it back off to Hayfield, driving towards the edge of box. Does really well to keep possession there. Now Morton has space ahead of him. Uses Freer to his left, who has Ming on him. Goal scorer so far, just sending it across, and it will be a corner for City. So very symmetrical that first half. City getting an early corner.
Yeah, I think Dulwich are quite happy to give City space in their own half, but as soon as they come into the Dulwich half of the field.
Well, a bit of an error there by James Morton, and it could fall to Felix now. It will be through on goal. Try and take a shot now. Really well defended there by Chris Lynes. Felix does retain possession though. City a bit slow, trying to find where the second ball would be. And the shot is taken, and Max Harris just reaches out wide, and he does grab the ball nice and firmly.
That was poor from Freer. Normally
does really well
so
to win
good.
that time. Smith also gets his foot in there as well. It's now with Cook. Can lay off for Sonny Cox. Does well to keep the first touch. His players around him. Takes a shot with the weaker right foot. And he goes well over the bar. It looked like he had to lean back a bit just to reach the ball. And he scuffs the shot over, and it will be a goal kick for Granger. Good opportunity for City. Dyer's there first. Chris Lyons has to stay strong against Felix. Felix does really well to get into Porter, but Greenside now has a good opportunity to counter-attack now. He's moving very quick in transition. He might just take a pop shot. He does so, and it will go out for a corner. He had options, but none of them are going to be easy to use. Hayfield number right. I guess his clearance wrong, and it falls to Campbell now, left-hand side of the box, towards the edge of the box now. Running alongside the 18-yard line, and he takes a shot of his right foot. Max Harris gets down low to his left, and he claims it firmly. And here comes Scott Wilson now, and it will be for Tom Smith. Trying to find his way through. Sends it forward to Wilson, does well to hold possession. And now squares it off to Chris Lyons in the middle of the park, and Lyons will just drive forward. Lots of space ahead of him from the veteran. But there's no option really there. That's a poor challenge from Dulwich, but there's plenty of advantage. And then Freer will send a cross in. And it does come off the skipper, and it will be a corner for City, but Chris Lyons was completely taken out there. It will be a booking for Campbell. He went in very hard on Chris Lyons there. He's going to be free again now to whip a ball in towards Wilson, but cleared away that time. Only as far as Chris Lyons, who will take a shot now. Oh, he drilled that shot. Goes straight in towards a defender who blocks it down. Well, that would have been a very interesting effort had the defender have not charged it down. Now with Freer, left-hand side, has Greenside on the overlap, doesn't use him. We'll try and whip in another cross with the three strikers in the box there. Freer does really well to get past Matt time, and it doesn't find anyone in the box for cross. It was another driven cross. Now Porter can try and drive away, but Batten does really well to keep possession for City. Good, much better from City though, starting to push forward, starting to break that back line.
Plenty of time for City still, only 23 minutes gone in this second period, and they're really putting the pressure on now.
Hayfield to Cox, out wide to Wilson first time, try and get to byline and send a cross in. He will instead win a corner, and it will be a corner. He sends it in right towards the keeper. Granger's able to fist it away. May have fallen to Dyer that time. And then a shot is taken from Greenside with a weaker right foot, but there is a foul anyway inside the box, and actually did hit the crossbar. Dyer, right-hand side on the halfway line. Launches it forward towards Sonny Cox on the right-hand side. Does well to bring it away from Cheadle. He's now inside box on the right-hand side. He'll try and send it out, but he loses his own footing, and the ball runs away from him before he's able to send a cross in. He was so close to the goal. And Cox almost winning back possession inside the Dulwich box there as well. Just a bit unfortunate there for Sonny Cox.
Mr. Mackey is going to be too keen on letting Dulwich get away with this. We may have quite a bit of stoppage time.
By Cody Cook, and it's out to Hayfield, who's on his own pretty much in the box, takes a shot, but it's straight at Granger, who gets down low, and it's cleared away by the skipper Holland. On target shot for City there, though. Did have options, Hayfield, but I definitely do not blame him for taking a strike there. Lyons, Wilson. Let's be quick to keep that away from Ming that time as well. And Greenside does win the throw in that time. He's getting a huge round of applause from the City fans over in the Poplar stand. As with Freer, who'll send a cross in now. My fault to Hayfield, but he just judges the ball completely wrong. He had so much time there. He might be able to win a corner there, but they say no, and it will be a goal kick, which Granger will take. Good opportunity for City again, though. And Ming has now been booked for complaining with the referee, even though he did win a goal kick for his side. So I'm not quite sure what he was moaning about there, Ming. Just need to find a way to breach that defensive line, which Dulwich have held strong.
I think we might see Luke Spokes possibly coming on.
Certainly would be a good bit of new energy to have on the pitch. Someone who will drive with that ball in a situation where City need someone to just take the game by the scruff of the neck.
12 minutes plus, I would imagine, at least 5 or 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Greenside, left-hand side now. Forward to Freer. Brings it infield to Greenside. Really good play between the left-sided players. He will fall back to Greenside, who tried to send it into the box. Now it's Morton to Wilson. I'd much rather see him in the box, but he's having to be the outlet at the moment. That was a lovely overlapping run towards Sonny Cox now. We'll try and find an option. Back with Wilson, trying to put it onto his right foot. He'll take a shot. Ming charges it down. Morton keeps possession. Now with Lines, he has Morton to his left. He uses him. Morton doesn't quite bring it under control first time. He does for the second time of asking. Morton will just send a cross in there. It's drilled all the way towards where Cody Cook is meant to be. It looks like he might have got his head onto that one. Sonny Cox also there. And it might fall to Dyer inside the box, but it's cleared away by Dulwich for a corner. They're defending so well at the moment, Dulwich Hamlet.
Everybody bar 2 players and the person taking the corner in the 18-yard box.
It's taken now by Lines in towards Dyer, gets his head on, it's a goal! Jordan Dyer with a sensational header in the 81st minute. Chris Lines sends in a beautiful ball to the near post, and Dyer is up before everyone, and he jumps the highest, and he gets his head onto it, and it's a lovely looping ball into the back post. And that does mean it is 1-1 here with plenty of time remaining at Twerton Park. Bath City 1, Dulwich Hamlet 1.
Just looking across at Mark, I think, is that his 3rd goal of the season? I think it is.
Yes. 3 goals for Jordan Dyer now. They'll be very happy with a point, I imagine, still, regardless of the situation at hand. And Chris Lines puts it out wide to Hayfield, who has to chase onto it. He does. And he does. That's a really good initial touch. Get it through to Cook, who puts it just over the bar first time with a weak-footed volley. It was a beautifully placed cross by Dan Hayfield, perfectly into the running lane of Cody Cook. And on the first time, tries to put it past the keeper, but unfortunately gets too much height on the volley. But Batten's able to chest it down. We'll just send it long towards Cox again, who muscles off his player, and it might be an opportunity now for City. Dan Hayfield, he has Scott Wilson in the middle. It's to Wilson, and it's 2-1 here at Twerton Park. It's Bath City 2, Dulwich Hamlet 1. Scott Wilson, the man on fire. In the 87th minute, Scott Wilson makes it 2-1 to City.
And that goal was a thing of beauty. Hayfield's racing down, he was clear. Dulwich had pushed up, he had plenty of room on that right-hand side and saw Wilson to his left, put it across, and Scott Wilson made absolutely no mistake. And you have to say, 2 late goals excite a crowd probably more than anything else.
I haven't seen limbs like that at Twerton Park since I started doing this, so that was lovely to see. Great crowd ovation, but I can't help but be a bit excited about that one. 2-1 to City in the most critical of games as well. A game where City will be thinking they need to get all 3 points. Now they've just got to hold on to it. It's going to be 5 minutes.
Wow. It's just Hayfield came over for a conversation. No, I'm not surprised.
Well, we're not even 44 minutes gone yet, but we now know there will be an extra 5 minutes. Jack Batten slips over there, and he has to bring the player down, and unfortunately Jack Batten will be sent off. 2 years in a row he gets sent off home to Dulwich, but Jack Batten, he did what any captain would do. He sacrificed the red card.
I'm not quite so sure that was necessary.
He was going away from the goal.
He was going away, I think. And the trouble is, with no Kieran Parcell, that certainly poses City some players' problems at the back.
City have to stay incredibly strong now. Jack Batten, he just slipped over the ball, and it allowed Fawale to run through. But like you said, Andrew, Fawale was running more towards the byline rather than goal, but Batten wanted to take no risks, and he decided to bring the player down. Free kick's about to be taken by Dulwich, and it goes way over the bar. I'm not quite sure what the idea was there, and I can't imagine they were trying to beat Max Harris from sort of corner angle.
Closing remaining 4 minutes of stoppage time.
All black and white shirts behind the ball. That's poor from Cheadle, but I'm not sure what Cody Cook was doing then, just trying to launch it. He had so much space, he could have brought it down first. And now, Dulwich in a good position, left-hand side of the box. Campbell can send a cross in. Lines is there. But here's an opportunity for Dulwich with a header from Phillips. But it goes just wide. Just hit down to the halfway line. Bounces off Morton, it ricochets off him, and now an opportunity perhaps for Felix to break away. He does lock the keeper, and Chris Lines does brilliantly to head it before it even reaches the goal line. 2 more minutes of the added remaining. Sent in, really good corner towards the penalty spot, and a header is met there by Campbell. Now Campbell will launch the ball into the box. Greenside needs to stay strong, and the header does fall towards Phillips that time, but Max Harris is low down to his left so quickly. That is an excellent save from Max Harris, and perhaps a match-winning save. Ball just fell to a penalty spot where Phillips was waiting. He had plenty of space, and he just sort of swiped at the ball, and it was on target. And luckily Harris was able to get down low to his left as Sonny Cox is about to be relieved for Luke Spoke. He does try and get to the player first, and it was Dylan Gavin to send it in. Good header there by Taylor, and I was going to say no penalty. Dulwich player did go down though, no shout to it, and there goes a full-time whistle. And it does end here at 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗚𝗏 Park. Bath City 2, Dulwich 1 in the most incredible fashion. Bath City on the verge of defeat. Gone 18 minutes they were. And then finding that initial goal from the corner. Brilliant header from Jordan Dyer. And then a brilliant finish from a Dan Hayfield cross. Another assist from Dan Hayfield as well, which Scott Wilson scores firmly into the back of the net. It does end Bath City 2, Dulwich Hamlet 1.
Well, if you were in the 900 crowd tonight, or if you were listening to us, you certainly had your money's worth, because that was some climatic finish. I mean, City really, for a lot of the second half, despite plenty of possession, looked as if they really didn't know how to unlock the Dulwich defence. They managed to do so in the end from a corner with Dyer's header, and then with 3 minutes of full time to go, Hayfield galloping down the right-hand side, a superb ball across to Wilson, and the informed striker made absolutely no mistake. And from then on, Dulwich, who previously had shown virtually no attacking intent, suddenly picked up and looked like they could gain an unlikely goal. But hey, if you wanted excitement, if you wanted passion, if you wanted involvement, then that's what we've had tonight.
It was just an excellent finish to the game for City. Scott Wilson now on 16 goals for the season as well, trying to find that golden boot at the end of this season. What a great run of form he is on, Scott Wilson, just hitting the back of the net every time he's on the pitch. And what else is there to say? Just the resiliency that City showed. 1-0 down, really struggling, not able to find a way to reach the goal. And then all it took was a bit of quality from Chris Lyons and, of course, Jordan Dyer to find the back of the net.
City players now coming over towards the main stand here and getting a very good round of applause as they leave the pitch, and well deserved. The crowd have been royally entertained this evening, and Dulwich, well, they came to make a fight of it. Hakan Hayratton will probably say for a large chunk of this match they did everything right, or everything he would have wanted, but in the end they're going to go home without anything. Jerry Gill enthusiastically applauding the crowd himself as he goes off down the tunnel.